So let's take a look at the southern cold. So it is, I mean, by any definition, the ridiculous cold is all the way into the south. Here's where we are this morning, tracking the records. Little Rock, we're at 13, not quite to the record yet. We're closer in Tupelo, 1 degree away from that old record of 10. New Orleans, we're at 26, 1 degree away from the record. And Charleston, South Carolina, still have a chance to drop down to 19 degrees and break the new record cold this morning. And yesterday we broke our record cold high by about 9 degrees, Charleston. The cold is here and it's going all the way down into central Florida. Look at Tampa. 41 degrees right now, and when you factor in the wind chill, it feels like it is near freezing. So wind chill advisories are up all the way down into central Florida, the Florida Panhandle. If you're vacationing here this week, what a shock to the system, right? You weren't expecting this. We've got those wind chill advisories all the way down to places like New Orleans as well. So with the wind, when you factor in temperature plus wind, it feels like 6 below zero in Nashville, 1 below in Little Rock. It actually feels colder in Atlanta than it does in some spots in the Northeast. Feels like 4 right now and 34 in Tampa. The cold is here to stay. We've got another chilly day ahead. Temperatures are struggling to get even into the 30s. Nashville, we're going to stay in the 20s today. Dothan, Alabama, you are going to not get above 42 degrees. That's it. Here, well below our average highs for this time of year. Tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures come back up a little bit, but it's really not going to warm up until next week. Chris, what do we know about the Kansas City is they had clear skies. And so clear skies really contribute to these cold nights. It's radiational cooling. And let me talk about how clouds actually impact your temperatures overnight. It's more of a significant impact than you might think. So during the day and certainly during the night as well, clouds actually emit radiation. They deflect sunlight back up to space. And so underneath, you're going to be a bit cooler on a cloudy day relative to a sunnier day. And at night, if clouds are there, they also are still emitting radiation. Actually, some of it back down to the ground, some of it back up to space, and they're absorbing radiation as it's emitted from the ground during the nighttime. So they're emitting it right back down. So on a cloudy night, as opposed to a clear night, it will be warmer. Clear skies, you're going to have those temperatures just radiating nonstop here. And that's when we get some of our coldest lows. That's when sort of the bottom drops out of the temperatures, Jackie.
Yeah, those clear skies, though, gave us a nice
rain, the chance for sleet, and the chance for snow in the south. All very impactful. And we get some winter storm watches that are up here and which weather advisories. Everything starts tomorrow. So let's talk more about what's going on all the way from Lake City, Tallahassee. We're watching Jacksonville very closely, though you're not in it. Savannah, Charleston, Wilmington, North Carolina, up to Norfolk, Virginia. You guys are the first spots to get an impact from our storm, which will be forming actually over the Bahamas. So we've got an old boundary down there, low forming on that. Watch the precip interact with the cold air. This is the problem. And we've got this cold air mass. Certainly at the surface is very cold. So we're looking at that concern for freezing rain when you've got that cold, shallow air. But how deep is that layer of cold air? That's the question, right? And that's the precip type question. There's a decent chance that we get snowfall, and accumulating snowfall here in the low country of South Carolina. Perhaps 1 to 3 inches is a possibility there. That's going to be impactful because the temperatures will be cold. So the road surfaces will be cold. It will be a travel problem. And this is a real concern as well. This freezing rain that is in the forecast, not too far from Jacksonville. Northern suburbs, be ready for it. The concern is there from the Florida Panhandle right through South Georgia. Savannah in that concern as well for freezing rain. A glaze of ice, a 1/4 inch of a glaze of ice will be certainly on the roads, very impactful, but also could take down perhaps some tree limbs as well. We'll have to watch for power outages. All right, so that's what's happening in the south. Of course, the cold, a big factor of it. And Jim, you guys are dealing with Chris. Thank you. Now, you hear a lot of talk about wind chills on AME. It's going to be cold, break the record, get the bragging rights. You know what else? The wind chill has been such a big deal. People have asked me, is the wind chill really real? Do you guys make up that number? No, we calculate it. There is an equation. This is it. It's complicated, yes, but T is temperature and V is the wind velocity. Wind makes a big deal. This is actually, the wind chill factor was created, so to speak, back in 1945 by 2 Antarctic explorers. So they calculated using science what it's like to deal with the wind, whisking away the heat from your skin and knocking down your temperature. So take a look out there this morning. We've got wind chills already well below zero, all the way, not just through the Midwest, but getting into parts of the South and the Northeast. It feels like 30 degrees below zero in Des Moines. That gives you about 10 minutes outside before frostbite will set in if you're not completely covered up. The Northeast, we've got temperatures right now, plus the wind, that are making it feel like 23 below zero in places like Bangor, Maine. Again, you've got 10-15 minutes before frostbite can set in if you're not completely covered up. So we look at a place like Nashville, and you don't often think about wind chill being that dangerous, but by Thursday morning with that next round of cold coming in, it's going to feel like 1, and that's 30 minutes. I know the kids are going back to school. Be ready for this here. All right, let's go back out to Mike Sadell, and he's